Hey everybody, welcome. This is Internet Marketing Unleashed. I'm your host, Scott Patton, the Dean of Blogonomics and Podology. And in this live stream, it's every Thursday at whatever time it is. Well, it's 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern, and usually it's 11 o'clock. But hey, I made a mistake. And unfortunately, our guest today, he showed up on time, and that's the important thing. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe wherever you're finding us. And if you've got any questions, we are live. If you're watching this and we are not live, if you leave a comment, put a question in the comment, I'll still get it and I'll answer it as best I can. Or if there's enough interest, then I'll ask our guest to come back and answer the questions for me, because hey, that's the way we do these things if we can, right? And I'm really excited. He's from across the pond over in England or the United Kingdom, and he has over 20 years experience in digital marketing and copywriting. So I might talk a little bit about copywriting too. I wasn't planning on that, but I always like talking copy. And his expertise is in brand creation, brand strategies or broad strategies, and he's written a number of books. So I actually do live stream an hour before this one for free-ebooks.net, and I've invited him and he's agreed before we went live to come and talk about his experiences writing nonfiction and fiction and publishing and book imprints and all that good stuff. So make sure you watch for that. All right. So without any further ado, I'd like to ask or invite Jerry Holliday to join us. How you doing, Jerry?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me on.
Great. So whereabouts are you exactly?
I'm in Bristol in the United Kingdom. It's southwest. So it's about 2 hours from London drive, I guess.
Nice. How far are you from the channel or from the ocean?
It's actually not that far. But Devon's just down the road.
Oh,
so there's plenty of beaches down there.
Nice. A beautiful area.
Funny enough, I was in your neck of the woods 3 years ago around this time in Laureles in Medellin. So
oh, good. Yeah, I'm happy. If I got to be stuck anywhere, I'm happy to be stuck here. And
yeah,
I just wish the lighting was a little bit different and I could have my camera pointing at my view. But if I do that, I'm blacked out like the secret guy. They change the voice and everything else. But it's
well, you are a man of mystery, so they say.
That's right. Everything you write comes back to haunt you, so just be careful. I've had so many people on my Facebook. I have International Man of Mystery because, like, what am I going to put there? I don't know. And every once in a while, someone messages me, "Tell me about this mystery," or what does that mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about digital marketing. Like, what are the things that your company and you are finding are hot, are working? I'll start off by throwing out, like, is TikTok something everybody should be on?
That's a very young audience, and I guess if your demographic target audience is there, then that's definitely a platform to start looking at.
I had a client who his ideal customers are, or let's just say the customers that he gets are like 55 and older. And TikTok came up and I said, well, if you want 18-year-old real estate investors, then that might be the place for you to be. And he sort of looked at me with this shocked look on his face, because no 55-year-old that I know is on there or older. I'm on it, but that's because I wanted to kind of check it out. And I still haven't figured it. I still haven't figured it out. And I'm thinking I should just ignore it. But anyway, but that's a great answer, right? Like, who is on the platform? And then when you know that, then you can say, well, my audience is, break dancers or something like that. And that's where they would be hanging out. So great. But if your audience is looking at retirement homes and that's your business, then probably is not a good place to put a TikTok, to put a video.
Yeah. And it's like Pinterest as well is, it's been around for quite a few years now. That is like a very heavily female demographic, visual, so if you're in sort of any visual medium, certainly, it's worth looking at all these different platforms in different ways.
So what would you say for Instagram?
In terms of, well, it's actually, the audience is getting older, so there's more kind of older people like us going on there and spending a lot of time on it. And I think it's turned out to be a very good way of reaching people, reaching your audience across various different demographics. And especially, like, we had one client who does a lot of furniture and all that kind of stuff, and it's very effective. We posted like it's Moroccan type stuff, furniture and
cool,
and all that kind of stuff. And there's instant sales from that being posted. So there's a lot of buyers on Instagram, I think, if you're selling physical products.
It's funny because, of course, I have an Instagram account and I put the odd picture of where I am up there, and that's about the extent of it. But the last couple of weeks, I've had some friends that, in Medellin, we can get together in small groups.
Yeah.
It's not on the weekend because we're just too irresponsible to get together for small groups on the weekend. And I've had a few people over, and it's kind of like, "Are you hungry?" And they go, "Yeah, let's get something to eat." And they pull out their phone, and I don't know what they search for because I don't get to see their phone that quick. But before I know it, they've got all of these pictures of meals, and they're scrolling through like, "Do you want this meal or do you want this meal?" And then they'll click back and they'll go to, I guess, to their search page or whatever, and then they'll go to another restaurant and another restaurant. And the way they're deciding is looking at the restaurants and then scrolling through the pictures that the restaurant puts up of their food.
Yeah.
And the pictures are like so professional. It just blows my mind, right? Like, if it was me taking the picture, there'd be shadows and you wouldn't know what it was. And these are just, and they look like you're drooling looking at these pictures. And I had never thought of Instagram as, and I had never thought about it, but I thought, wow, like that, what a great way to use Instagram. Put great pictures of all your food and all your dishes up, and then people will look and say, "I want that." And then they, I don't know, PM, direct message them or WhatsApp them, or I don't know how they get a hold of them, but it's just, it was a whole new world.
Yeah. Brilliant for restaurants and food as well. That's the classic, isn't it? Instagram your dinner.
Instagram your dinner, yeah.
Useful quite a bit. Yes, I remember that in Medellin. Do you say Medellin or Medellin?
Yeah, I say Medellin, but I don't know that I'm right.
Yeah. I was always confused. But I remember that my Airbnb host ordering food, and it was straight to Trustpilot and Maps, Google Maps, or that kind of thing, and finding the restaurant and then pulling up the details from there. So it's like mobile marketing.
Well, yeah, and local mobile marketing, and it just makes total sense for products that are highly visual, right? It's just like, wow, these are your options, right? And I, of course, here we have 1 day a week where we can go shopping, and usually that's the grocery store, the bank, or the pharmacy. Although they're slowly opening more different types of, like, car repair shops are open now and barbers are open now because we've been too long without a haircut. And
I got my hair cut about a week ago. It finally opened.
Finally, yes. And I had a pair of scissors, and I just thought, I'll just wreck. I'll just wreck it if I try to do it myself or get somebody who doesn't know what they're doing do it. So
I did consider it myself. I was close. I was holding the scissors. I managed to pull back.
So tell us a little bit more about your company, Bonafide Media. Tell us some of the things that you do.
Yeah, so it's been around a while. Actually, the name came from a comic we published back in the 90s, and we had distribution, international distribution, and that's where my love of publishing came from. So part of our business is publishing books and so forth. But I've always been involved in the marketing. I think I first met you in 2008 in some internet marketing conference.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the UK, I think it was it 2008?
Yeah, I think Robert Putty put it on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, I do remember that very well. It was a really good conference. I remember you spoke.
Yes. Trying to get everyone to podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So from that, my interest in marketing and creating digital products has been there for quite a long time. Essentially, I'm a creator at heart, which is why I kind of write fiction as well. But we set up an agency in 2009, 2010, and there was 4 of us. And that's where I really kind of ground my knowledge in digital marketing. We did branding, websites, all of that kind of helping local businesses. And then I had a break from it to kind of refine and refocus my own creative kind of skills and enhance my writing. That's when I started getting into copywriting and that kind of thing. So it's been the last few years where Bonafide Media has come into its own, and we've started again to re-engage with old clients and new clients.
Awesome.
And we help on a number of services. So it's from your basic brochure websites to e-commerce websites to sales funnels. Some of our clients are like coaches, and they're wanting to get out there since the pandemic started to really kind of reach people through webinars and video and stuff.
The pandemic has really changed how people look at the stuff that we do, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All of a sudden, when you can't be in front of somebody, face to face, then you really are scrambling to find another way, I call it another pillar of marketing. And it's really, we've positioned ourselves well. Yeah,
absolutely. The massive rise of Zoom and all of that. It's been a fascinating time in many respects. It's bizarre, but this is the world we're in now. So
it is.
Everybody's got to kind of step up and really take a look at their offering and how they come across online, and especially branding, to have a consistent brand really installs kind of trust. The more visible you become, that engages trust a little bit. It's a very important aspect as well. That's another thing we focus on with startups and new companies and that kind of thing.
Right. And one of your focuses is coaches. And I think that's great, because so many times people can get the knowledge, but it's the implementation of the knowledge that they have a problem with. And just having someone to hold you accountable, and also to help you work through whatever self-sabotaging behaviors are coming up, or attitudes or mindsets that are getting in the way of their success. And it just makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, distilling everything down. What is it you're trying to put out there? I think it's Steve Forbes who said your brand is the most important thing in your business.
Right.
So especially if you're starting out or reinventing yourself, it's definitely a kind of thing to top of the list, I'd say.
Yeah, the first impression, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Visual and otherwise.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So tell us about some of your clients and some of the success stories that you've had.
So we've had several clients, coaches. We work with local businesses, so we focused on. There's obviously an ideal client, and a lot of the businesses have been not exactly that, but that we've helped with. So rock and furniture, coaches, local businesses like nail bars and things like that, just to try and get a presence in there.
Right.
Electrical companies, that kind of thing. But I think what we want to do is kind of refocus on specific things, to work more with creatives and stuff, things like that. And also authors. So we're working with several musicians. We're just doing a sales funnel for one musician. So it's like really bringing the internet marketing ethos to how they present their funnel, I suppose. Having an email autoresponder sequence that's giving people downloads and that kind of thing. So yeah, we're just helping.
You have a
helping
system.
grow slowly.
You have a system, and artists have no idea, right? Like they just have, and they're missing. It's not. I don't want to say they're missing the boat. They're artists. I mean, they're creatives. They want to create their art, whether it's music or paintings or decals or T-shirts or books. Because writers as well, and they want to focus on that. So then you need someone on your team who can help get the sales, because if you're doing all this music but nobody gets to listen to it, nobody gets to like it, nobody gets to want to buy it or give it as a gift or come see your concerts, or I don't know, I guess they don't have concerts now, I hope they have them soon. You need some help, and that's one of the great things that you and your company does for creative people.
And there's and it'd be really great. We're working with possibly one publishing company and a new imprint to set up their branding and all of that. That's be exciting. And also
that's great.
And a couple of authors, because it's like you say, there's specific cogs in a website that you need to have. You need to have that newsletter builder, which is just still the greatest way to engage directly with your audience. I mean, as an author, you sell books on Amazon and Apple Books and wherever, but you don't know who's bought your books.
Right.
So, whether it's an album or books or some other kind of digital products that you're doing, to have that link to that newsletter is so important to really kind of be able to get direct contact with your buyers, basically.
Absolutely. And in sales, everyone says it takes 7 touches to make a sale. So if they come and see your website once and never come back, you got 6 more touches that you're never going to have the opportunity to do. But if they sign up for your newsletter because you've made it really enticing and well worth their time, and then the newsletter is interesting and keeps them engaged, then another touch, another touch, another touch, another touch. And then when it comes time to, we're launching our new album or my book is being launched, then you've got a group of people that are excited for it, because hopefully you've been telling them little tidbits about the process that you've been going through creating your stuff. And people love to hear the stories.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can engage, get your personality across as well. I mean, it's just also working with people, solopreneurs and personalities. Yourself is obviously can be a brand.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and it's, of course, you could have Facebook pixels and then stalk your prospects around the web as well.
Right.
Always that option. But then, bringing in the social media aspects and Instagram and having that visibility, although it might not always be hard to figure out your return on investment sometimes with that, but it's visibility. As we were saying earlier.
Yeah, and when you're using the social medias, you're creating something that's going to be there forever. So whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, people can go and they can look through the history and see tons and tons of things about what you've created. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, like a backlist of images, a backlist of posts, content.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry, I want to thank you very much for joining us. The time has just flown by. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you and say, you know what, I'd like to know a little bit more about how you can help me, what can they do?
Yeah, we can certainly just head over to the main website, bonafidemedia.co.uk.
Okay.
We're also in the process of, for author publishing, we're setting up a membership site. So that's, authorhelphub.com.
Great.
At the moment, it's a 10-day email course specifically for 101 indie publishers and indie authors. But we'll grandfather anybody in to the membership for free.
Oh, nice. Oops.
Yeah, so that's
push the wrong button.
Our own brand. So we have our own brands and imprints.
Great. And you told me that if anybody wants to get a hold of you for a quick consultation, that you'd be willing to do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's through Calendly. .com/Jerry Holliday. And so I have slots on there, 30-minute slots. So yeah, more than happy to jump on a call either through Google Video, Zoom, or Skype. And if anybody is considering setting up a new brand or reinventing an existing one, they're looking at their digital presence and the marketing around that, let's jump on a call and let's chat about it.
Awesome. Great. Well, I want to thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day to be with us and to share your knowledge. And if you're interested in improving your brand, or you don't even have a brand, or you don't even know what a brand is, then there's the link. Spend some time with Jerry and he'll get you on your way. And it's a really important part of everybody's business. And it doesn't matter if you're creative or not a creative. If you're a thinker brain type, then you still need to have a brand if you want to sell anything. And it's more important now, when we've seen how fragile the 9-to-5 jobs can be, that you be looking at, if you've got a career, do something on the side and build that up, so that if there's another catastrophe like the last 8 months, you're not in a poor financial position. It's really important. So thank you very much, Jerry, for joining us today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's good to see you again, Scott.
And we'll see you again soon too, because you're going to join me on my other show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Let me know when that is.
I will. I'll get you the details.
Great.
So thanks for joining us, everybody. Really appreciate you and having you join us. If you've got any questions, there's the comment place. Put the questions in there. We'll make sure we answer them for you. And until next time, this has been Internet Marketing Unleashed. Bye-bye.